So this week we are continuing our theme, refilling your cup, refilling yourself, refilling the things that we take for granted for ourselves and therefore sometimes makes us worn out. And as always, I have my little outline over here. So if I'm looking over here, I'm either looking at my script or the phone because I can't see comments on my computer. So last week we talked about how to notice when you are just feeling run down and not like sick run down, but just energetically run down. What is running low, running on empty? And so today we're moving on to the little things that we can do, the small little daily things that we can do to re-energize us in little bitty spurts. I used to think that refilling my cup was about the big stuff, the spa days, the endless. I watched Sex in the City, and they did girls' day out and brunch and cocktails and all that stuff, and so. Part of me thought as an adult that would be sort of what I would do, and that is nothing that I do. I'm up early, so brunch is a lunch for me, and so that's not me. If it is you, great. But it's not me, and it's not the spa days. Although I budget every month for my pedicures. It's one of the things that I enjoy doing. I usually am listening to Audible. I usually take my earbuds and I listen to a book, or I listen to music and I journal, or I write ideas down for the business. So, it's sort of my off the phone, off the email time to myself. And I cherish that time for myself. But it doesn't have to be the big things. It can totally be the small things. And as a matter of fact, it's probably better because you could do it more consistently, right? My latest thing, which I know sounds crazy to most people, is that I am up and on the treadmill around 4:15 every morning. At the stage of life I'm at, ye old perimenopause, menopause stage, I'm not sleeping as well as I used to, and I would just toss and turn between usually 4, sometimes 3:30, 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock, which is when we get up to walk our fur kid. And so instead of battling the bed, I just decided to get up and get on the treadmill. And I think, and I'm using my phone for my comments, so I don't know exactly, but I think today is like it's probably knocking on day 70, somewhere in there, mid 60s, 70, of how many days I've done that in a row. And I didn't know how much I needed it until my husband said something to me about how he has seen a difference in me, just just my overall well-being. And if perimenopause, menopause, there's all kinds of different symptoms, and I had been very snappy. And it is the snappiness has not left the building, but it has decreased immensely. I feel like I have a better attitude. I feel like I have accomplished something, every day. I'm done with my steps practically before, when I say my steps, I mean my goal is 10,000 a day. And I'm done with that by breakfast or nearly close to breakfast. And that's also time for me to listen to an audiobook or to watch YouTube for business things, motivational things, things that I would like to bring into the business, into group sessions. And I also, which I normally, I'm not going to lie, usually watch, is a British soap opera, Coronation Street. Shout out to them. I have become addicted to it. Now, I'm not even watching the latest storylines. I'm watching back from 2011, so I got a long ways to catch up on. But I enjoy it. Takes my mind off of it. The time, especially those mornings where it's not every single morning. that I want to jump out of the bed. All right. Um, so it helps me get going, that knowing that I'm going to be watching my British soap opera. Teresa says you're crushing it. Thank you. It is. I mean, it is. It. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hear you. I'm taking that in. That's one of those things that I'm not good at, is taking compliments and taking things like that. But I appreciate that. It is. It has been good for me. And yes, I have lost some inches. Um, that is a good side effect, I guess, because I just need to move my body. I'm having some joint issues with menopause, and so I just need to keep moving. So that's what we're doing. But my point in all that is to say, there are little things that you can do to create consistency. Once you start those small steps, then they ripple out to bigger ones, right? So let me give you some examples. I wrote down some fun examples that are free, that are simple, that, if you want to do a spa day, great. If you want to do brunch with the girls and shopping, all that, great. But as an introvert, and we talked about this in group Thursday night about how many, there were several of us in there, if not all, that were very introverted. I encourage you to try some of these out this week. So one is just to step outside. Just step outside, especially if it's sunny outside. Feel the sun on your skin. Just close your eyes, take a few breaths, feel the air, feel the breeze. It's changing here. The air is changing here as far as just the smells. So, take a few minutes outside. Nature, nature, nature. Another is to stretch your. I love this one, and my husband was doing it. Actually, he had shoulder surgery back in July, and so he's still doing PT. And I noticed it the other day. He was stretching his body while waiting on his coffee to brew. So those few minutes that he had waiting on his coffee, he chose to stretch. You can stretch. Use your kitchen counter, and or try to touch your toes, or just reach up in the air. Whatever is comfortable for you. I'm not asking for a yoga practice, because you're just waiting for your coffee. So stretch your body. Put your phone down. And I know that's ironic that I'm telling you put your phone down. I hear I'm on Facebook, but put your phone down for a few minutes just to breathe. That was the great thing about retreat, is that we all had our phones on us, because most of the people there had kids and grandkids, and so they needed to be able to be getting, a hold of if needed. But we weren't on them, really. We had them, but we weren't on them. And it was just a great breather away from everything. So put your phone down, put your phone down, go outside to get some sun and breathe. Hey, you're putting several of them together now. Another one is to say no to one thing that drains you and drains your energy. And I know that's so much easier said than done. I know that. So, if there's some small thing that you can take off your plate or do differently that, get that energy back, think about what that looks like for you and maybe try it out. Play your favorite song and actually listen to it. I know we all have our favorite music, but really maybe put on what they call a beginner's mind or a starter's mind the first time you've ever heard that song. Really go into it with, I'm looking at this differently, or I'm looking at it with a new, lens. It's really cool. Try it out. Make a cup of tea or coffee and sip on it without multitasking. I can't tell you the last time. I'm just trying to think the last time I had lunch and wasn't multitasking. Really. Because usually I'm at work or I'm working on the business in front of the computer and I have something else going on. Whether it's emails or text messages or I'm watching social media, sit and do it without multitasking. Try it out. And the last one, which if you've been here for a while, you know is one of my favorite things to do, is write down things that you are grateful for. You know, I have a journaling practice. My journaling practice every night is to write down 5 things that I'm grateful for that day. And typically, once I get that journal out and I start writing, it's more than 5 things, but that is my goal, is 5 things. And you can write that down and really think about those things, meaning, you know, really feel into I am grateful for, because there are some days, I get it. There are days that I'm just like, I'm thankful for a hot shower. I'm thankful for a meal. I'm thankful that my bed is clean, and I'm thankful that, you know, it's important, very important stuff. But it's not like big epiphanies, right? So, and some days I say I'm thankful for what I was thankful for yesterday because I just don't have it in me. But really think about that and ponder on that. So one thing you can do, Teresa said, I didn't even think about my phone when I was there. Oh, talking about retreat. Yeah, I know, right? I know. We don't even have any pictures. It's crazy. Like it was great. It was, I'm not, it was great. It was just crazy. I have coffee outside on my deck in the morning and listen to the birds. Noni says, yes, yes. I did that yesterday. It was beautiful. I had 8 hummingbirds zooming around, and it was just, and yeah, it was great. Teresa said, I sit in my Zen den and look at nature and listen and watch the birds as well. Yep. Listen, these birds, they can talk to you. They can talk to you. So one little thing that you can do, sort of maybe a reset, maybe you're having just one of those days and you need to just reset the whole system. And let's just do this really quick. It's not going to take but just a minute. So if you're in a place where you can do that, close your eyes safely. You're not behind the wheel of a car. So let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, a deep, deep, deep breath. And exhale out the mouth. And place your palm over your heart space. And feel into to see if you can feel your heartbeat. And then simply say to yourself out loud, I am worthy of care. I am allowed to pause. And take another deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. Gently open your eyes. And I hope you felt that difference. Just taking those few seconds, maybe a minute, to sit, to breathe, and to remind yourself that you are worthy of your care and that you are allowed to pause. You're allowed to pause. So remember, the little things matter. The little things that you do out the day, the things that maybe you can do consistently that fill your cup. It doesn't have to be extravagant. The little things are just as important as the big. And you know I love my angel cards. And 2 of them popped out this week. And I love this for us. The first one is openness. Openness. So be open. Be open to acknowledging that you need a refill, that you need a pause, that you need a rest, that you need to do something different because you are depleted. You are depleted. And this one, I had to giggle because, well, it's play. Play. And boy, don't we need more play in our life. We need it. I know I need more of it, whether that is going outside, taking off your shoes, walking around in some grass barefooted, whether it is, it's knocking on the October slash fall slash Halloween door. Maybe go get a pumpkin. Maybe go carve a pumpkin. Maybe too soon, it may get a little icky, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe you go to the park and go swing. Maybe you ride a bike. Whatever it is, go play. Go play. We need that childlike fun in our life. We need to play. That's right, Teresa. We need to play more and laugh more. That is actually, and of course, love. Yes, but play and laugh. Yes, absolutely. Play and laugh more. We need it in our lives. So this week, if you try that out, if you try any of these out, any of the suggestions that I made, maybe you have something that I didn't suggest, feel free to put it in the comments. And if you go play this week, anytime, come back, write them in the comments. I love to hear back from you. All right, everybody, one last reminder. The Women's Recharge Retreat registration closes on Friday. If you're interested, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a great, wonderful, and fantastic weekend and a great week, and I'll see you next Saturday. See you, everybody.